Now it's all you.
What's going on, podcast? It's your boy, the Hope Dealer, aka Scott Manheimer. I'm on this podcast because I want to reach the world, but with my story and my testimony. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Problem child, if you want to say. Always getting in trouble in school as the class clown. Had a good family growing up, but I just always started trouble in the streets, acting stupid and stuff. But eventually, when I was 12 years old, I ended up moving to Staten Island, and that's when it started going downhill. I had a lot of triggers like drinking and smoking. Like I started doing that. Then eventually it was fighting, and then eventually it turned into gambling. I was really bad with gambling. I lost probably close to $2 million with sports gambling. And I was always in the social clubs, playing cards with street guys and all that other stuff. And it got to a point where it got really bad with gambling. And I had neck surgery, as you can see in my neck over here, in 2013. But I was going to like 4 or 5 different doctors. I got red flagged. I was selling my pills. I was just in the streets, like doing stupid stuff, staying out late, coming home at like 6 in the morning, going to school. But it got to the point where it was like, I was getting out of control with the drugs, like just taking oxymorphone and sniffing them. And it got to a point where I had to change my life, or that was going to change me. So I came to a point where it was like I was either going to fight or I was going to tap out. And you got to get desperate, and you got to surrender in life. You got to get to the point of like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I got to the point where there was a lot of family issues growing up at like 13 on. So I tried to numb myself with that, which drinking. I crashed 12 cars, total, tried to kill myself. I was drunk and high, but now I realized what I was really trying to do. But I came to a point where I was like, I tap out, and I tried to make a change in my life. So I came to a conclusion. Let me look up rehabs. Let me try to find a way so I could get the destiny and assignment that I got for my life. So I looked up a lot of rehabs, and I'm the type of person that has to look up a rehab that's going to work. So I looked up a lot of reviews, about 50, 60 reviews about different rehabs. And I found a rehab in Baja California, Mexico. It was called the Holistic Sanctuary. Some of the things that they do that I'll mention, you could look it up on Google and get into deeper details about what it does. Holistic Sanctuaries in Baja California, Mexico. They do a thing called hyperbaric chamber. It heals the inside and outside of your body. They do coffee, water enemas, Reiki, yoga, massages, plant-based diet. They make you watch videos about food and just like doctors so you can advance your mind to know what works and what doesn't work. And then they did a thing called ayahuasca, which gets to the root and the trauma. Why are you doing this? What's triggering you, and what's the trauma? And then they did this thing called Ibogaine, which is illegal in America, but you can read into more details of what it does. It basically just rewires and restores your brain. You have no urges or cravings. You have no withdrawal. I have 0 withdrawal. But you got to just find out what works for you. What worked for me won't work for you. So everybody's different. So what I have to say is basically, if you're looking to get off drugs, you got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired, and don't look in the rearview mirror. Look in the windshield, because that's where that's where the hope comes, and that's where my name Hope Dealer came from. You gotta forget about the past and worry about the future. Like this is what I tell people when I minister in the streets. I minister in Allentown with my Bible study family, and I minister in Kensington. And I came to a conclusion, like I was doing Jesus Chain Breakers with my ex-girlfriend, and I came to the conclusion like I want to do it bigger. We still do Jesus Chain Breakers, which is awesome because I get to bring out everybody from my Bible study, but I wanted to go down there 3 or 4 times a month because I had a calling when I was doing Uber in Philly, and I got lost in Kensington, and God spoke to me and said, Scott, I need you here. And it was like, is this real? Because it wasn't my voice that was speaking to me. I knew, like, what's the difference between my voice and God's voice? It's different. So I was sitting there, and he said, I need you here. From that day forward, me and my Will Maris Carry-On started a thing called Jesus Chain Breakers. 200-300 meals, 20 boxes of clothes, care packages. We pray for them, get salvations, and we try to get them to rehab. But I wanted to take it to another level. So that's where Hope Dealer comes in. Hope Dealer is the guy that goes down there and tries to get people to rehab. Yes, we want to feed them. Yes, we want to do good things, but we want to give hope. We want to give courage. We want to give determination. We want to speak life into them. Speak that they have a destiny. They're not a lost cause. Because when you have hope, there is no lost cause when I'm down there. So the biggest thing I wanted to do down there was just to get the people to rehab. I'm gonna lead them to the well, but you gotta drink. I tell them that every time. Whatever it takes, I will help you. Just get to the rehab. When you get out of the rehab, I'll have them call me and you can get into a sober living house and let's get the destiny and assignment that you have for your life. My goal is to get a rehab. I want a rehab with a shelter split in half and have the protocol down to a science. I have it written down what I want to do, when I want to do it, and I have make vision boards. I tell people when you go to rehab, write down 5 things you want to accomplish when you get out of there. So you're not just getting out of there not knowing what you're doing. So write down 5 things you want to do and accomplish it. Have a plan when you're in the rehab, what you're going to do next. Because when you get out, you're going to go to a sober living house, but what are you going to do? You need a job, stay busy, like always do something, distract yourself, but distract yourself in a good way. I always say people, places, and things, but I mean it, people, places, and things. Don't hang out with people that are going to trigger you. Hang around people that are going to advance your growth, like grow with them. If you see something that you want to do, like Hope Dealer, I have my friend Arthur Roldan from Brooklyn. He's a cop, and he comes all the way down from Brooklyn to Philadelphia to support me. Why? Because I'm hungry, and I want to help people get the destiny and assignment they got for their life and break the strongholds and break the chains of addiction. Because addiction, it's hereditary. I know that because gambling runs in my family, but drugs never. But when you're losing gambling, you want to numb yourself. Where you get into a fight, something triggers you. The best thing I could advise for anybody struggling with addiction, reach out to the Hope Dealer. You can find him on Instagram. His name is Scott Manheimer, aka Hope Dealer, or Scott Manheimer, Hope Dealer on Facebook. And I have a lot of resources all over the world. And you just give me a call and I'll make the phone call and they'll have you picked up, or I'll figure something out. You do the assessment over the phone. And once you get in there, you just follow the protocol, fight, and then eventually the breakthrough happens. All you got to worry about is just keep focusing on the prize. You might be in the tunnel where it's dark, but eventually the tunnel gets light. I just want to advise everybody that's struggling with addiction or depression or any struggle right now, it will pass. It will pass. Just understand you don't have to numb yourself from drugs or anything else. Get hungry. Get hungry for the passion that you have. I have a passion with Hope Dealer. Hope Dealer, I love the name Hope Dealer because when I go out into the streets in Kensington, in Needle Park, when I was just there serving 300 people, somebody tried out to me and said, Hope Dealer, I see your name on there because they knew who I was, and said, I need help. And I said, I'm your guy. Let me make a phone call. And literally 2 hours later, Team Challenge was down there to pick up 2 people. So that's 15 people in 4 months in Kensington. So I look at it as Kensington is probably the hardest place to be in. Like I seen people get robbed, phone, dope, money. I was in my car, just sitting down, just reminiscing about that day, and it really hit me. And I seen a lady freaking out. Somebody stole my money. Somebody stole my drugs. Somebody stole my dope. Can you come in the car? So she just came in my car, freaking out. And I'm like, first of all, let's try to get you to rehab. Let's try. Are you ready to go? I'm not ready to go. I'm having withdrawals. I want my dope. So I was like, how about this? You take one of my cars. When you're ready, you could call me. But just know that life is not over. The dope, when you say I need something, that's how you know you're addicted. I'm going to say it again. When you say I need something, that's how you know you're addicted. People don't need something. You know what you need? You need a job. You need to pay your bills. You don't need drugs. So I just want everybody to know, I know it's hard when you're going through withdrawals, but that's when you have people to lean on, like me, the Hope Dealer. You could call me, vent to me, talk to me, and I'll get you through it. I'll make the phone calls I got to do. And if I have to pray for you, whatever I have to do, speak life into you, speak boldness into you, and speak the fire inside of you to ignite a fire, a different fire inside. I got the passion. And the passion is, I'm here. The Hope Dealer has arrived on the scenes. And this is just the beginning for the Hope Dealer. Kensington's going to be back on the map, and revival's coming to Kensington. Next, I'm going to go to Patterson, LA, Ohio, West Virginia, wherever it's struggling with addiction. And I know Ohio's struggling big time. So wherever you need me, I'm coming. So just give me a call at 917-538-3420. And I'm the Hope Dealer. It was a pleasure to be on this podcast. Well, my name is the Hope Dealer, and I actually go down to Kensington. We go down there. It doesn't matter what time it is. It could be anytime, anywhere, any place. I get a phone call, and I'm down there. Me and my friend Arthur, like I said, we go down there. We started off with just waters and granola bars. Then all of a sudden, I started putting pictures up of me praying for people going to Needle Park, Allegheny, and Kensington, underneath the trestle. And we just go down there and we just pray for them. We just say, are you looking to get hope? No. But that one, like they say in the Bible, that one, we get that one. If I could get one person to go to rehab all the time, it brings pleasure to me. It's like winning Powerball to me. So I try to go down there. We bring down heroes. Then all of a sudden it went to platters. Then it came down to trays. So we try to go down there with food, boxes of clothes, care packages. But the biggest thing I want to do is they get food, even though people don't think they get food. My main goal is to bring them to rehab. I want to go down I go down Kensington all the way down 2 to 3 miles and hand out my cards. I got a Hope Dealer with my number on the back of my window for advertising. And the main goal is to just go down there one by one and just show love. I tell people, because some people like me, I never got, my parents never said I love you a lot, but they'll say like, here's money. So I go down there, I could see what they're going through. They don't know what love is because their parents either threw them to the streets or their girlfriend did. So I go down, I just want to let you know I love you and I'm here for you and I'll be here. You'll see me 3-4 times a month. And if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. Here's food, here's care packages. And if you want to go to rehab, we have 2 cars ready. We could put about 6 to 8 people in and we'll bring you right to rehab. We'll let you do the assessment and everything. And this is just the beginning for Hope Dealer. I'm diving in deeper. I want to get a sober living house with a rehab, split in half. Hopefully I'll get the funding and everything I need to get. And I want to show people that there is light at the end of the tunnel and you could get free from addiction. It's not that hard. It's a mental game after 14 days, after the physical part. But you just got to stay on something. If it's Vivitrol, it's good. As long as you have a blocker that's making you not take other stuff and just stay away from certain people, you're going to have to get away from certain people. It's a normal thing. They say when you're uncomfortable, that's when you grow the most. I went from Mexico to PA, and I'm from New York, and I felt super uncomfortable. And one day I heard Eric Thomas talk. I wasn't thinking right. And I jumped out of bed and I left. I went into Philly and that's just changed my whole life. It matters what you put in your ears and your mind comes out of your mouth. So try to watch. There's power in the tongue. So speak life. I'm a warrior. I'm a conqueror. I'm blessed. I'm gonna walk in authority. I'm gonna be a winner. If you speak, I'm in pain. I feel like crap. I'm depressed. I have anxiety. Guess what? It's gonna be hard to get off drugs. Get to the root and the layer of why you're dealing with it. There's layer after layer. There's trauma after trauma. So if you get to one trauma, get to the next trauma and figure out a game plan. Like whatever you have to do, whatever it takes, how desperate are you? You got to get to like when you're on your knees and say, please help me. Like I tried everything. I tried rehab, psychiatrist, a therapist, my parents, my friends. What's next? Like what do I have to do? Maybe journaling, maybe go cognitive therapy. There's so much, maybe neurotransmitters to find out if they're level your brain. Like there's levels. Like I sent somebody to rehab in Florida and they did a neurotransmitter thing and he was on Xanax and it was a 6.0. That's really high. It's supposed to be like 1.5. So they did the $10,000 for the neurotransmitter and now he went down to 1.5 and he doesn't take Xanax. So there are things out there, people, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, there are things out there. Don't think you're alone. Don't think it's just codones and methadone and Suboxone. There are things out there. So reach out to someone like the Hope Dealer or anybody that's running a podcast, the people that know deep into details. Like there are things out there. I promise you that. You just have to find out what works for me, might not work for you. But just know there is that one thing. Hope Dealer is ready to talk to you if you need to know any resources. all over the states. I can get you in somewhere. If you're looking to get in, I'll get you in somewhere. And then once you're like 7 days in, I'll find a sober living house where it isn't, the biggest thing is not close to your house. So you can't run away. Because if you get mandated or 302, you can't go anywhere. But if you go to a rehab, you can sign yourself out. My goal is to make you feel uncomfortable in a way. It sounds crazy what I'm saying, but you got to feel uncomfortable to break the chains. That's how you break chains and bad habits. You got to feel uncomfortable. That's when you grow the most. Like I'm in Pennsylvania, I go to Bible study 3 days a week. I go to church. I try to stay busy. I work out a little. I change my eating habits. But eating is big. If you eat bad, you're gonna feel sluggish and you're gonna make bad decisions. Put good things in your body. This is your temple. Take care of your temple and your mind, and everything comes with it. So basically, I'm trying to say is calling on your life, addicts. Anybody that's an addict, you have a calling on your life. I see a lot of musicians that are addicts, comedians that are addicts. Like they have big callings. That's why the devil tries to take them out with overdosing. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you have what it takes. Put it in your mind, you have what it takes. It is hard. I'm not going to lie. I tried 10 times to do it by myself. But guess what? There's always a plan. There is always something you could do. There's always a number you could call. There's always a friend you could call that could lead you to where you have to go. And I'm one of those people. So reach out to the Hope Dealer. Don't be afraid to call 917-538-3420 or anybody in this world that you trust. Because Kensington, I'm very happy that God spoke to me. It gives me like pleasure. And I was sitting in the car driving home and I said this to myself, is this real? Because 4 years ago, November 17th was 4 years. I said, is this real? And I started crying and I was like, what am I doing? And I said, 4 years. And I said, I'm on podcasts. I have a ministry. People reach out to me for prayers and go to rehab. God is good. People are good in this world. There are good people in this world. Everybody, you got to love one another, even your enemies. Pray for your enemies. And you'll see God move mightily in your life. That's why people say, Scott, you got that fire. And I'm like, I do have that fire because you got to walk in authority. Walk by faith, not by sight. Have faith over fear. Because when you don't have fear, sky's the limit for people. So there's a big calling on everybody's life. The guy that's running the podcast right now with me, Will, and this is just the beginning for Willie Boy. Trust me, I can feel it. I can see it through the phone. So Will, this is just the beginning. You're going to have over 1 million subscribers in 2022. I'm speaking it over your life and into existence. Big things for Will. I speak it over his life. And I want to thank Will for bringing me on the podcast, sharing my testimony, reaching the world, because this is just the beginning for Will and the Hope Dealer. And I want to thank Will for bringing me on the podcast. Thank you, buddy.